podcast. I'm your host, Mari Reesberg. Over the past several years, I've combined my degrees in acting and somatic psychology to share my sustaining creativity techniques with performers. And now I've decided to share it with a bigger audience that includes you. I believe we are all creative, and this podcast is all about that. I'll be interviewing people from all backgrounds, ages, and creativity experiences to share just how creative we all are. Today, I'll be chatting with Willie Blake, dyslexic coach, girl dad, and podcast host. Please enjoy Willie Blake. Welcome to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. Today I'm chatting with Willie Blake, dyslexic coach and girl dad. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me on. I'm excited for today.
Me too. I'm super excited to dig into creativity with you and hear how that shows up in your life. But before we get there, why don't you take a couple of minutes and let our listeners know a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Yes, I'm Willie Blake, and I'm a girl dad. I got 3 girls. We got 5, 3, and 1, and we actually have another one coming in a month and a half. So 4 girls, definitely a girl dad. And I'm an author, multiple best-selling author. I have my own podcast that I love to share, just breaking through limits, called Light Beyond Limits. And I'm a dyslexic high-performance coach. So I help dyslexic entrepreneurs and professionals to get clarity, confidence, and to make more income with their dyslexic edge. So I just love helping out people.
Oh my gosh, I love so much of this, all of it. I love the girl dad badge that you wear. How fantastic. And can you say a little bit more about did you go through how did you land on dyslexic and
Yeah.
dyslexia to kind of be the niche of people you work with?
Yeah. So way back in the first grade, come back with me to the first grade.
We will.
We're walking down the hall. And you know how it is. It's like little kids walking down the hall. Ain't nobody in a straight line. They're like running back and forth. Teacher's
Yeah.
getting them in order. Finally, we come up to this classroom. Teacher has us stand up against the wall, and she goes inside. A few of us who are the curious ones peek around the corner, and we see several desks that were set up, adults behind them, papers everywhere. After a few minutes, one by one, they filter us through. And as I go in, I go up to this desk, and I assume it was a mom. She's just so nice. Moms are so nice. She's like, "Hey, can you read this for me?" I'm like, "Sure." And I take it, and it's like giving a first grader the New York Times to try to read.
Whew.
I couldn't understand a thing. I was stumbling while reading. Finally, I got through it, and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much. You can go on your way." So I go back to the classroom. Fast forward a couple months, and I got diagnosed with this thing called dyslexia, which for me, it was struggling with reading, writing, and speaking. And so throughout elementary school, throughout middle and high school, I struggled a lot in those areas. I had to get extra time on tests. I had to meet with teachers in this boardroom setting before school even started, just so that all my teachers know that I have dyslexia and agree to it's either 529 or 504. I think it's 504 plan that they do in schools. But just growing up with it, I've experienced it. And so when fast forward now several years back, as I'm just like, I want to help people. I want to do this thing called coaching. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a teacher, but I never wanted to do it in the traditional sense. And I found this coaching thing that was out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm the success coach. I help people become successful. And it's like, every coach does that. So you're really not talking to anybody.
Sure.
And I was having a conversation with a friend, and he says, "Why don't you help dyslexics? You've been dyslexic your whole life. That's what you have the most experience with." And I'm like, that's not a bad idea. So then I started to help dyslexics. Some of my friends, we'd jump on calls and I'd help them get a little bit more clear on what they're going on. And for some of them, just be that verbal soundboard for them to vent to. And over time, it built from helping people with that to then creating a business with it, to now I want to be a resource for adults Because sadly, in the world that we have, there's a lot of resources for kids and teenagers, which is
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Not as many. Once you hit 18, there is not as many resources. So I'm
Hmm.
just glad I can be one for them.
I love that. And thank you for sharing your journey and experience of dyslexia and how, yeah, how it really has shaped this business that you are now sharing with others. I'm so curious to dig into dyslexia and creativity, but I'm so curious, what does it mean to you to be creative?
Ooh, it means that I get to express myself out into the world in a way that makes me feel joy.
I love that. I love it.
I think that's the first time I've ever said it in that way.
Yeah,
But like, I think, can I share a story quick?
please.
So I remember it was back in middle school, eighth grade, and I
Mhm.
was raised by awesome parents. They were like, if you find trash on the floor, just like pick it up and throw it in the trash can.
Yeah.
So I'd be going to classrooms, and as I would just be hanging out with friends and doing whatnot, I'd see trash on the floor. So I'd pick it up, and if it was a wrapper or something like that, I'd pick it up, put it in the trash. But for some reason, whenever I picked up like a broken piece off of a pen
Mm.
or a rubber band or a paper clip, I would put it, I had this black binder and this nice little mesh in the front. I'd unzip it and shove all the, you could call it trash, shove all the trash in there. And after I got quite a bit of it, I would make creations. Like I would invent stuff. I had this little shelf in my room at home where I would put these creations. Literally, I made a scooter, like a little scooter
Yeah.
out of all these random trash things that I found throughout the school. And I'm like, that's really cool. I love that. I don't know if I'm going to show anybody, but I love doing that.
Right.
So it's like that brought joy to me. So it's like my way of expressing joy
Mm.
through the creativity of just doing something as creating something from what other people call trash.
I love that, and that it brings you joy and that it's not necessarily for anyone else. How, I mean, hearing this story from eighth grade, how does that show up in your life today?
Oh my goodness. It shows up in me actually coming back centered in who I am.
Mm,
Because anybody who's listening who owns a business or runs a business or just has a job, like you are so focused on earning money and getting the
hmm.
job done and tasks done that there's not really time to be creative.
Mm,
And so having those times to where I can create those, or I've started to do drawings.
mm,
I love drawing. I love drawing dragons. And so it's just like I don't make time for that. And so I've
mhm,
had to set creativity as a reward. And
mm,
by doing that, it's
mhm.
helped me remember who I was.
Yeah.
And then people who I work with as clients and people who I just went to a speaking event, people who I meet at speaking events, like then I start sharing with them. And instead of just being like, yeah, dyslexic coaching, yeah, we speak and we keep our hands within a certain amount. We got to fluctuate up and down tones and everything like that.
Yeah.
They can see the smile on my face and we just have a conversation back and forth. It's
Mm,
not a business card like here's mine. It's like, what are you passionate about? What's your
mm,
story? Like if you didn't have any limits, what do you want to do? It's
yeah.
because of the creativity that the amazing questions that aren't really talked about in just like the regular network settings just
Mhm.
unleash and get shared.
That what a beautiful description of creativity and creative expression and creative experience and the opportunities that you are supporting others to show up in that passion and that space. Now, working with individuals as a coach, I can only imagine how many challenges you bump up against in the work that you do, whether it's self-imposed or otherwise. But what are some of the more creative challenges that you have had to navigate, and how do you specifically navigate them?
Yes. The one that it's like when you ask the question and then it's like instantly that idea comes to mind.
Yeah.
Just had one of those moments.
Okay.
So for my coaching, I have a framework, and in the third step out of 5, it's to take your goal that you have and reverse engineer it backwards. So
Okay.
if you imagine yourself at IHOP or like a restaurant that had the kids menu and they have the maze on there,
Mm-hmm.
I always visualize going from the back to the front. Yeah, I'm that dude. So then finally, when I put crayon to paper, I can do it flawlessly.
Oh,
And so
I
I'm like,
see.
that's what we got to do with our goals. The client that came to my mind, his goal was to get a girlfriend.
I love that. And whew,
I'm
the
like,
toughie.
okay. I'm like, okay, girlfriend. This still works though. So we start at the top. We say, you want a girlfriend? Okay, what's the step right below that? He's like,
Mm,
I don't know. Have like go on dates with her? Yeah, you got to go on dates to have a
mhm,
girlfriend, right? What's right below that? Uh, Say hi to her. That's fewer down, but you got to be friends with her. How do you be friends with her? Well, you usually find the girl who will become the girlfriend in a group of friends. It's
mm,
like, cool. In that group of friends, how do you get that? That broke off into two. One is to be at the place where your friends meet, and the
mhm,
second is to be able to talk to the said friends that of the said girl who will eventually be you will be dating and become the girlfriend. It's like,
mhm.
cool. So we put a pin on the event side. How do you talk to a girl? How do you talk to your friends? That breaks off into two simple things. First, you got to have a life. You you might you can resonate with this, but do you find that men are more attractive when it comes to them having a life, them doing something and working, or more attractive of when they're sitting on the couch not doing anything?
Oh, anyone, regardless of
Yeah,
gender,
anyone. Yeah.
who,
Yeah, sorry.
someone
Yeah,
who's
regardless of
doing
gender.
something for sure, someone who is actively participating in things that bring them joy and fuel their passions in their life, of course.
Yeah. So a lot of self-love, basically in some words you could say have a life, right?
Yeah,
So we have that. And then the other side is just the literal skill of communicating, which is
right.
asking questions, having small talk, finding common ground, right?
Hmm.
So we broke it down from having the girlfriend, it's just like, how the heck do I get there? To creatively breaking it down into the roots of you got to
Hmm.
be at the places where your friends are at. You have to be doing stuff in your life
Hmm.
to be you. And then the skill of communication and breaking that down just simply and creatively just made cool. Now his next actions were going to places where his friends were
Yeah.
and then talking to his friends while he's there.
Mm,
And
love
then
that.
and then for him, his thing was meditating for the self-love part.
I love
So
it.
like we're able to just break it down from this single goal that he has to now something that he can do right now
Hmm.
walking forward.
Yeah.
And so that when you ask me about the creativity and how that works with problem solving, that's what comes up because maybe it's a girlfriend or maybe it's like you want to be a speaker or a podcast host or
Yeah.
maybe you just want a better relationship with your spouse or kids.
Hmm.
Whatever it is, start at the back and work backwards.
Hmm.
And that unleashes the ability to now you know what you need to do in the next 30 days, but as well as what you need to do today.
Mm, absolutely. I love that breaking it down and that reverse engineering piece does make things more feasible and more achievable. And because step one to step 10 with nothing in between is really intimidating. But step one to 1.5 is so much easier to grasp and hold on to. I mean, as a dad, how does creativity show up with your kids and navigating? I mean, I can only imagine 3 kids, one on the way. Are you a scheduler? Are you I don't, I just, how do you navigate this?
I live by my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't get done.
Fair.
As I have had kids, it has flipped.
Mm,
So
hmm.
business schedule, and I'll put like appointments on there. I know I got to
Yeah.
pick up my kid at a certain time. She's in kindergarten. I know that like when appointments happen, it has to be on there so I remember.
Yeah.
But then in the times where we're just there,
Yeah.
it's turned from we got to have this scheduled event and we are going to do this and nothing else
Yeah.
to now just being like, what do you girls want to do?
Mm.
And just like live in the moment. Maybe it's playing
Mhm.
blocks. Maybe it's just like, hey, let's let's play hide and seek. And then you're
Mhm.
hiding in the closet for 30 minutes because your kid forgets about you and starts playing with the blocks again. Like you just start rolling with it. And so it's so cool. Something that I'm starting to learn is kids are so innately creative.
Yes.
And if we are able to just let our own expectations of what needs to happen, just let it float away and just be present,
Mm.
it's amazing what those kids can come up with. And when we
Mhm.
take away the tablets and the TV and everything, oh my goodness, the just you're getting me just the power that kids have in this world.
Yeah.
It's just it's just astounding.
It is. It's a magical experience to follow a child's wonder or creative path throughout the day because it is so varied and so unique. When, how has, playing with blocks or playing hide and seek, how does that creativity from your kids fuel your own creativity in your adult sphere?
Yeah, it takes away the limit of it has to be done a certain way.
Mm,
Because kids, if you start building that tower, they will knock it down and be like, let's build it a different way
yeah,
every single time. And
sure.
I love it because okay, I didn't love it at the beginning. I'll be honest with that. I'm like, I just want my nice tower, and if it's Legos, I want it to look all pretty and not destroyed. But over time, it's it's helped me realize that there's more solutions than one. It's
Mm,
not a two
mhm.
plus two equals four world out there.
Yeah.
It's there are so many solutions and so many possibilities that someone's path might be a great path for them. For
Hmm.
other people, it might not be.
Yeah.
And it jumps back to like, because I work a lot with, because people are dyslexic, they've grown up with it, and there's a lot of comparison, a lot of I feel behind. And
Yeah.
so I help them realize that it's your journey, it's your
Mm.
path. You can't compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 53 in their life.
So
It's
true.
it's so true. You just start where you're at, and if
Mm.
you're better than you were yesterday, then that's enough.
Mm. I like that reminder. Just comparing yourself to yourself in how things went yesterday. Maybe they were a little more effective or a little less effective, and then you get to tweak and twist and adjust things within your
Yeah.
control. I really appreciate that because we don't have control over other people and where they're at in their life and their world.
I'll be honest, I wish we did sometimes.
Ah,
I
you and me
wish we can
both.
control other people,
Yeah, yes,
but it ain't happening. All we get
it's
to
true.
control is ourselves. So
Yeah,
let's just make the world a better place, starting with us.
I absolutely agree. I'm curious when you work with people who really struggle to feel creative or find creativity or think differently or feel like they think too differently and they want to be more streamlined or quote unquote normal.
Yeah.
How do you encourage them to find more creativity in their life or their voice?
Mm. We start by sharing to light what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have been living in, you could say, darkness,
Yeah.
which is the challenges, the stresses, the
Mm-hmm.
anxieties, the obstacles, whatever word you want to use for them.
Yeah.
They've been living in this darkness. And a lot of people have been sitting there in a corner in a room with their hand in their knees, crying
Mm.
their eyes out, wondering what the heck is going to happen next.
Yeah.
And we need that person, at least one person. And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to be that for people. And I'm glad there's so many other people out there like you and like other people who are just crushing it and helping other people just see a little bit more light
Mm-hmm.
for you to open the door,
Mm.
for them to look up, and for us
Yeah.
to hold our hand out and say, we're right here with you.
Mm. Easier said than done. How do you
It
get,
is easier said than done.
that like asking for help or taking the help that's offered, even that can be a barrier for people. How do you work with
Yeah.
that?
like with dyslexics, a lot
Yeah.
of in society and what everyone talks about, it's always about seeing letters backwards. It's about
Right.
always being behind. We're the special eds. We're
Mm-hmm.
people who are just like we're going to struggle our whole entire life because we can't read, write, speak, or spell.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, goodness gracious, I give up. My whole entire life, I'm just going to be behind. So I'm just going to do the barest minimum for everything. And hopefully there's a life after this, or hopefully I get reincarnated or whatever
Mm-hmm.
you believe that the next one's going to be better.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want that for them.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to see what actually is real. Because, sure, the way we process information is different from other people.
Yeah.
Someone who can go from point A to point B. So, like, let's say my house to Walmart, most people can just drive straight to the path.
Mm-hmm.
But us dyslexics, we got construction and we got traffic going on. So we got to take that alternate route. It takes us a
Mm.
little bit more time, but we eventually get there.
Yeah.
And so it's shining light on that. And
Mm.
also with dyslexic, like we're great with problem solving. We are
Yeah.
great with perspective, out of the box thinking. We're great at sympathy because we've had to go through so much. So we get when
Sure.
other people goes through challenges.
Yeah.
And like there's so many other things that go along with it. And not just with dyslexia, any challenge that we have.
Mm-hmm.
There's two sides to it. And we tend to focus on the side that harms us the most
Mm.
when we should be just seeing both of them and then choosing to focus more of our time in the things that work for us.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I love to share is make your challenge your greatest advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Yeah.
challenge, that challenge is the thing that sets you apart from everybody else. Not in the way that makes you different in a bad way, but in a
Right.
way that you actually get to help other people who have gone through it.
Mm.
Like with me and my dyslexia,
Yeah.
I now get to share with other people the great things that are from it.
Yeah.
And I love telling people the quote from Henry Ford, or at least attributed to Henry Ford, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's believe that you can, and let's start from where you're at and go to where you want to go. I get to
Mm.
share that with people.
Mm-hmm.
And each of us have gone through challenges in our life and
Mm-hmm.
we have survived it. Because
Yeah.
crazy enough, for people who are listening, you have survived 100% of the days that you've lived so far
Mm-hmm.
because you're here. That's
Yeah.
not good. That's great.
Mm. Good reminder to reflect on that, to say, yeah, I have survived all these speed bumps or roadblocks or construction or traffic.
But like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You have survived. You have kept going. You have learned. You have adapted. Your jar to handle problems has grown bigger. And
Yeah.
so you get the choice to believe that you can or you can't. If you believe that you can't, you're not going to change. Why would you change
Sure.
something there's not something at the other end? But man, if you believe that you can
What that
and you just
opens.
stand up,
Yeah.
what that opens.
Well, Willie, this has been such a treat to chat with you. I have one last question.
Yes.
What does it feel like in your body to be creative?
It feels like the kid that has always been there gets a chance to play.
Ooh. Oh, I love that. That is so powerful and beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this part of yourself and all of these tips and tools that others can take from listening to this episode. If people want to learn more about the work you have out in the world, how could they go about doing that?
Yes. The best way is to go to my website, coachwillieblake.com, and you'll be able to find the link to all my socials. If you want to jump on a call with me, that's where you'll find the link to my calendar and then everything else. So, website's the best place.
Perfect. Well, I will add those links in show notes so people have very easy access. And thank you again so much for taking the time to chat with me. I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation.
Yes, me too.
Thanks for listening to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. We'd love to keep in touch, so follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are at Sustaining Creativity. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Tag your friends and family so they can listen too. We love to hear from you, so leave your reviews, comments, and questions. Check out our website, sustainingcreativity.com, for upcoming offerings and creativity coaching. Tune in Tuesdays for our next episode. And remember, with creativity, anything's possible.